I didn't get fired for anything crazy, didn't like punch somebody.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chamber Talk, and today I'm with Spencer Erickson of Son of Erick Design. Spencer, thank you so much for being with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're here at the Vision 28 studio, and we're just going to have a real great conversation. Find out a little bit more about you, what makes you tick, what makes you excited.
Yeah.
So let's start off at the very beginning. Born, raised here in Idaho Falls, or were you from somewhere else?
Pretty much born and raised. I had a stint right after birth in Seattle for 2 years, so I don't remember any of it. So I don't really count that. But yeah, other than that, I've lived here pretty much my whole life.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to BYU, Idaho, and got my degree in graphic design there.
Okay, and so how long ago was that?
That was spring of 2013, so 13 years ago.
Wow, time flies, huh?
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
you came into school, decided you're going to get into graphic design. Tell us your journey from coming out of school to where you are today.
So I actually didn't start out doing graphic design in college. I started out doing fine art, doing portraiture and figure drawing and that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
With no real plan of what I was going to do with my life. I just knew that I liked to draw and I was good at it. And so I went down that path, started taking drawing classes and that kind of thing. And my wife at the time, her dad was starting a trucking company. This is back in the boom of fracking up in North Dakota. And so he was starting a trucking company up there and needed a logo. And my wife at the time was an illustration major. And so he asked her to do it. She hates logo design, didn't want anything to do with it. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
I'd done a little graphic design with bands that I had been in high school and stuff. And so started playing around with that and fell in love with the whole process. The detail that I loved with figure drawing and head drawing and that kind of thing translated really well into graphic design because I could, zoom in, 250% and move tiny little points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so about halfway through college is when I switched to graphic design and finished out my degree in that. And yeah.
And so when you came out of school and you kind of switched from fine art into graphic design, did you thought, I'm just going to create my own company first and just start off freelancing, or how did that start for you?
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
No, I never really wanted to do freelance. I really liked a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
And I was really blessed that I got a great job out of college in Rexburg, of all places, to doing what I got my degree in. I worked for a company called Monkey Bar Storage. And they've since changed their name to Gorgeous Garage and have been sold off. But I was their graphic designer and then their art director for about 4 years, right out of college. And it gave me amazing experience because I did everything for them. I did all of their graphic design. My very, very first website that I ever built was their corporate website.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know, they trusted me with that and it worked out really well. I was definitely didn't know what I wanted to do with my degree at first. And then I landed that job and it just worked out really well.
Yeah.
It was a really good starting point.
Yeah. And so what was the stimulus then that sort of led you to kind of answering that entrepreneurial bug to step out from the steady paycheck of working for someone else to, holy smokes, I'm responsible for my whole existence? So what was the stimulus for that?
I won't name names because it's a local company.
Okay.
But so after Monkey Bars, I moved on to another company and worked on their web design team. And it just wasn't a good fit.
Right.
What I was looking for at Monkey Bars, I was basically it. And so I didn't really have a mentor who was higher in graphic design and branding and that kind of thing than I was.
Yeah.
Had more knowledge.
Yeah.
And so I moved to this bigger company with the hopes that I'd kind of have like a mentor and like really set my career on fire and that kind of thing. And that really wasn't the case. And it really honestly drove me almost to wanting to switch careers. I was just miserable there.
Yeah.
And after about 10 months, I got fired.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get fired for anything crazy. Didn't like punch somebody.
Right. Dang it. No.
Yeah, right. It's not as cool of a story as it could have been. But I got let go just simply because I wasn't a good fit for the position they wanted me to move into.
Right.
And honestly, I was very happy because I needed out of that job.
Yeah.
But it was during that job that I really started thinking about where I wanted my career to go.
Mm-hmm.
And when I really realized that I didn't want other people telling me what to do anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really started to kind of mull that over, and about halfway through my journey at that company, I had that voice in the back of my head that was just like, you should maybe start thinking about your freelance stuff more.
Mm-hmm.
Just start, playing around with that. I already had the name Son of Erick Design. I'd had that nailed down for a long time and all that, just for side projects if I ever had them.
Right.
But so it was about November of 2017. I was miserable, had this inkling about starting a business or focusing on freelance. And so I actually started reaching out to people that I knew around in the area that were doing similar things.
Yeah.
One of them was Graham Whipple at Resin Architecture.
Uh-huh.
They hadn't formed Resin Architecture quite yet. They were in the process of it. But he had been doing architecture on his own for years. Yeah. And so I talked to him, and he gave me some great advice. And then I talked to Tyler Porter over at Porter Pro Media.
Yeah.
We went to high school together.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me some great advice and all that. And so I was like, yeah, I think if I can just make it through first couple of years of this company, then I'll quit. And then I'll start my thing. And then I got fired like a month later.
Wow.
And so that was kind of the kick in the pants that I needed to just go for it.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of other things going on at that time as well that made it the craziest month of my life. But getting fired and then starting a business literally 2 weeks later,
mm-hmm.
and that was it. Like,
yeah.
I had applied for other jobs, didn't get them, and I was just like, okay, well, let's do this.
That's awesome.
And 8 years later, here I am.
Here you are. So tell me about, I guess as part of your journey, in the last decade, we've seen a lot of improvements in terms of technology when it comes to graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
What have been the kind of most fun, inspiring things that you've seen over the last decade that you're now using on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, the Adobe products that I use every day, Adobe Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, those have made insane improvements over the last decade. I mean, just from little minutia type things that only a designer would actually care about, to like at Monkey Bars, I did a ton of photo editing and photoshopping things together to make product photo compilations and that kind of thing. And to do that I was doing it all manually. And now it's improved so much in the way that you can comp together images and remove distractions in the images and all that stuff. And then with the advent of AI and adding AI-driven features into those products, it takes some aspects of design that can be really tedious. And speeds them up a lot.
So what's your opinion then? So like I've seen just even recently, folks that are promoting either themselves or other parts of their business, they're using like ChatGPT or Claude or something to create an image for an ad. And you can tell it's AI generated. I personally don't like that. Like I prefer a kind of more traditional approach to graphics designs, and so what's your opinion on that? Like, what do you say? Can you see that what we have as amateurs basically going on AI and posting something that's supposed to look professional, but you can tell that it's completely fake?
It's a really mixed bag. Because I use AI in my business for like project management and that kind of thing. And that kind of stuff, and like written content and that kind of stuff. But as far as just like straight up creating something fully in AI and then just sending it to production or whatever and just being done with it, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
AI. It's come a long way in the last couple of years. You know, I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, Chat GPT could not render letters for, you know, to save itself. And so, but now it can render, you know, full business names and stuff, and it does fine. And so it has improved a lot. But there are always going to be anomalies in it. And the images that AI spits out for you are not production ready. And so like if you jump on ChatGPT or any of the others and create a logo for your business, for example, and then go to get that logo screen printed, it's not going to work.
Right.
If you go to get it embroidered, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
If you go to throw it on your website, it's going to have a frame around it. It's not going to have a transparent background, and you're not going to be able to blow it up as big as you need it to be without it getting pixelated and that kind of thing. And so there are definitely facets of design that I genuinely don't care if somebody uses AI for. You know, if they have like a flyer for their kid's birthday party, or even for like a really tiny event or something. Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And there are designers out there who would fit your budget, who could create that, right? But for me, that's not the work that I want to be doing personally. And so if you want to use AI for that, I'm not going to fight you on it.
Yeah.
But if it's something professional, if it's something that is going to be representing you and your business, hire a professional.
Right.
I have a lot of people coming to me these days with logo concepts that they had AI do. And like, sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not. The difference, I think, between using AI and hiring somebody to create a brand, create graphic design for you, is that that person can sit down with you and ask you questions. A lot of the time, AI will you'll put in your prompt and then it will spit something out. And it's not going to ask you those deep diving questions that a brand strategist will.
Right.
To make sure that you're reaching your target audience, that this is an appropriate logo for your business, that what you think your business should have as a logo is the right idea. It might not be, but AI is not going to tell you that.
No.
And so AI is a very powerful tool, but it's also a very powerful yes man.
Yes. It's a good way of describing it.
So,
because every prompt I've noticed when this is going to elevate this way. You stick in another prompt because you're not quite happy. Yes, this is going to be even better than the last one I just did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it gives
you can be like, wait a minute, you did something wrong here. And it's like, oh yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
and it's like it's not good enough to like make sure it's doing the right thing yet.
Right.
You know, it's not checking itself on, you know, if you ask it to do a logo, it's not like, well, let's step back and think about the strategy behind this. It's just like, okay, let's do it.
So let's talk about strategy and like the importance of brand. Because I think a lot of folks, and you hear this saying, everyone's a marketer, right? Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah. Especially these days with the internet, like everybody thinks that they can do everything.
Yes.
When it comes to marketing and graphic design. And
but there's obviously levels. You know?
Yeah.
So if you're a business, well, even let's just look at the Chamber. The Chamber went through a rebranding process 4 years ago, right around when I just started at the Chamber. Actually, you were one of the first people I ever met.
Yeah.
Just talking about here's where we're at with this rebranding. How important is understanding what your brand is before you even start thinking about what that should look like in terms of a graphic?
It's very important. I think we have a tendency as human beings to want to jump into the logo right away because that's the fun bit, right?
Yeah.
That's the fun part of like creating the face of this business. And so it's like, oh, well, do I want it to like look really gritty or rough, or, you know, do I want it to have a bunch of stars or whatever? Thinking about those kinds of things is really funny or fun to experiment with in your mind. And so we want to jump into that before we think about the why behind things. And so it doesn't really matter if you're starting out as a plumber or an electrician, just a really small operation, or if you're the Chamber or a charter school or a huge corporation, making sure that you understand why you're doing things is super important. Because if you just kind of go off on your own and just start doing things, that's all based on your opinion, right, and not based on the target audience of your company. It may not work out because you may not be the target audience of your company. And so talking with somebody like me or just a marketing professional will help to clarify that a lot, so that you don't get 3 years down the road and then have to redo everything because you didn't do it right the first time.
And so when you kind of get to the point of a finished product, then you're kind of understanding the story and the why. You're developed the graphic and kind of the logo that tells the story and should emulate, I guess, also kind of what the instant kind of emotional reaction you want people to have when they see your brand, your logo. You then get to a point of launching it. Is there a right way or a wrong way of launching a new brand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a right way to do it, especially if you are an existing company. So let's say you're a brand new company first. That one is not as you don't need to be as, I don't want to say thoughtful. That's the wrong word, but because you need to be thoughtful about it. But you don't need to be as crazy about it because you're launching something new. It's exciting. You want people to get excited about it, and so you don't need to like worry about launching it in phases or anything like that. You can just kind of go for it. If you have an existing company or product or something like that, then you need to think about how you want to phase things in. If you're rebranding, for example, there was a case study done, I think it was in 2009, Tropicana, orange juice. We all know and love it. It's great. And if you ask anybody, what is the symbol of Tropicana? It's the orange with a straw stuck in it, right? And in 2009, they fell victim to the minimalist trend that was going on, where you strip it of everything, you put in a sans serif font, and make it look really clean and minimal and modern. And so they did that, and they didn't really phase it in or anything. And so what happened is customers came into the store looking for Tropicana, looking for the orange with the straw in it, but that was gone. The only remnant left on the package was the cap. They had changed the cap into an orange.
Oh, wow.
But that's it.
That was it.
And otherwise, it was very, very clean and simple, and it looked like a generic brand, like the Great Value or whatever. And so people skipped right past it and bought something else, like Simply Orange or something like that. And they lost millions of dollars because they didn't think about how to phase this in so that people would recognize it quickly. And you have to think about that kind of thing. So even if you're a local company, you're not Tropicana, let's say, you own a local contracting company and you're partnering with somebody else, so you got to rebrand. To do that, I mean, you'd want to really think about how you want the continuity of the brand to go forward. How do you want people to continue to recognize this company as something that has a heritage, has some brand equity, right? And so figuring out, and this is where I would work with the client to figure out what would work best for them and for their clientele, is working through that rebrand process and letting the client or letting their customer base know, like, hey, we're going through this process. You're going to start seeing some new things. Just kind of letting them know. So that they're not shocked when something brand new drops, new website, new logo, new brand, all this new stuff. And you're like, crap, is this the same company? Are these the same people that I can trust? And so thinking through those steps, thinking through how we want to release things, all that, that's kind of what I do. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of that to figure out how I can help you launch your dream in the best way possible.
Love that. Well, you did a phenomenal job with the chamber.
Thank you.
Branding. Tell us just a little bit about that real quick. We've got a couple of minutes left. But what was important as you kind of went through the history and discovery of the brand of the chamber?
That was a fun process because the chamber is 120 years old. So it has a ton of history in the local area.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's all concentrated in this local area is really cool too. And so working with the branding committee, Shaylee Bodley was one of the main drivers at the beginning. She did a lot of research. She went to the museum and looked at all the photography and things. And we started building from that to really understand where the chamber had come from. Because I was fairly new to the chamber at the time. I didn't know all the history of it. And so it was very fun to learn the history and then figure out ways to incorporate that into the visual branding. This very, very subtle thing that probably nobody but me and maybe Shaylee knows about. But we stumbled upon this aerial photo of Idaho Falls that had Idaho Falls typed onto it. And it was from like the 1920s, I think, or maybe even the 1910s or something. But Idaho Falls was written in this kind of era-specific font. And the S was unique. It had flats on the top. Instead of curving up and curving down, it was flat. And the font that we ended up using for the chamber has that exact same little characteristic. And so finding little teeny tiny ways to kind of bring the heritage into it was a really interesting and very enjoyable process to do that. It was very cool.
Awesome. You now serve on the board. So having gone from not knowing much about chamber, getting involved, developing a brand, you now serve on the board. If anybody's thinking about, best ways to network, best ways to expand their business, would you point them towards the chamber? And if so, why?
I mean, absolutely. Yes, I would point them to the chamber 110%. And I think the reason why is it's not only, there are a lot of networking groups in the area and they're all wonderful for different reasons. Different people are different groups, but I feel like the chamber is kind of a central one where the majority of all of those groups tend to gather. Maybe not all of them, but the majority. When you come to a Chamber Connect lunch, we're getting close to 200 people at those lunches, and that's incredible. And so I think it's a really fantastic way to kind of get the best of all of the networking worlds, and not only the Chamber Connect lunches are really great, but there are a ton of other chamber events throughout the year that you can sponsor. There's so many ways that you can get your name out there in front of people through the chamber. And not only that, but I think over the last 3-4 years, the chamber has completely transformed from where it was to where it is now, and couldn't be happier.
Well, I appreciate you willing to serve on the board and to support us as we continue to kind of tell the story of our brand as well. It's like I said, it's full of history and really important today, now more than ever, one would argue, in terms of looking back at what the chamber has done for this community. So thank you for your contribution to that and for your story and for being on the podcast today.
For sure.
Really appreciate it. So everybody, that's Spence Erickson from Son of Erick Design, and thank you so very much for watching in and tuning in today. So we'll see you on the next one. Take care.